Monday, July 23, 2012, Moses Lake, Washington. It's the start of the work week for 63-year-old family man Javier Puente. He has worked in the maintenance department at the Chemicon industrial plant for 12 years. The plant has been shut down for routine maintenance, including on this piece of machinery called a recirculation pump, which is at the lowest part of this larger structure called a boric acid evaporator system, or BASE. Javier has performed maintenance on the pump before, but this time something goes horribly wrong. As he removes the pump, Javier is blasted with hot boric acid solution. He's knocked off his feet into a pool of this boiling solution, which should not only be cooled and separated by the time of the scheduled maintenance, but should be drained. Gone. At least 4 people confirm that the system had been drained. Javier's injuries are fatal. So, what happened? The Moses Lake plant Javier worked at manufactures a product used in electronics. This process creates an extremely hot liquid wastewater contaminated with boric acid solids. The BASE separates these solids from the water so they can be disposed of. The water is turned into steam or distilled for reuse. Routine maintenance on the BASE includes removal of the recirculation pump. Before this can happen, Chemicon's environmental department must drain and cool the system. The day before Javier's incident, 2 environmental department employees told their operator that the system was drained. Because it was possible for boric acid crystals to form and block the drain valve during cooling, the operator asked another employee to make sure the system was empty by sticking a bent piece of rebar into the 3-inch drain valve. The employee did and confirmed the system was empty, but it was not empty. 300 to 500 gallons of hot boric acid solution sprayed all over Javier Puente the next day. Javier was first treated at Samaritan Hospital ER, where he was estimated to have 80% total body surface burns. Javier and his wife Karina had been married for over 30 years. They raised 4 children together: Jessica, Ramiro, Jaime, and Tina. They bought land in Moses Lake and remodeled their home with friends and family. Karina and Tina were making jam at home when one of Javier's coworkers knocked on the door to tell them what happened. At the hospital, Karina was given only a few minutes to speak with Javier. He asked if his other coworkers were okay and told Karina and his kids that he loved them. Javier was airlifted to Harborview's burn ICU. He was treated there for the next couple of days, but his condition only worsened. His body swelled, and the doctors had to lacerate his limbs to allow the tissue to expand. Javier died on July 25, 2012, with his family at his bedside. In 2018, the Stritmatter firm with co-counsel Kalbum and Schwab filed a wrongful death liability lawsuit on behalf of both Karina and Javier's estate, suing the company that designed and manufactured the BASE, RCCI. The lawsuit argued that the BASE was not reasonably safe as designed, a duty imposed on product manufacturers by the Washington Product Liability Act. When designing the BASE, RCCI knew that the recirculation pump would need to be removed periodically for maintenance. It also knew that boric acids could solidify and create a blockage during cooldown, and that if this happened, it would likely be at the lowest point of the system, right where Javier was removing the recirculation pump. Plaintiff claimed this design was inherently dangerous. Citing OSHA standards, plaintiff also claimed the BASE should have had an energy isolating device to physically prevent the flow of liquid from the pipe during removal, such as this knife gate. They argued this would have prevented the incident that killed Javier. So what about the plant employees who said the BASE had been drained? The manufacturer blamed the plant, claiming the employees didn't follow their instructions for flushing the BASE with water after draining. But, plaintiff argued, those instructions weren't in the operations manual. The operations manual actually only instructed a full washout when fouling parameters were exceeded, but there was no definition for those parameters in the manual. And under the WPLA, not including those instructions, plaintiff argued, contributed to the BASE not being reasonably safe. RCCI moved for summary judgment on the statute of repose, claiming that the base was not a product, but instead was part of the improvements to the environmental building it was housed in. The judge agreed. Plaintiff appealed the decision, which was reversed a year and a half later. In October of 2020, 8 years after Javier's death, trial began. 2 weeks later, the case was settled confidentially.